Mass Concerts presents
Rocket Shop.
October 14th through 16th at the DCU Center and Palladium in Worcester. Featuring Trivia, Macton Igor Cavalera, The Rocking Dead, Twisted, and more live on stage. Meet Malcolm McDowell, Screams Matthew Lillard, and Skeet Ulrich, Danielle Harris, and stars from American Horror Story, Rob Zombie's 31, Sleepy Hollow, and many more. Enjoy panels, movies, shopping, tattooing, creating, and much more.
Rocket Shop.
October 14th through 16th at the DCU Center and Palladium in Worcester. Tickets available at the Palladium and DCU Center box office, FYE stores, and Ticketfly.com.
Info at rockandshop.com.
This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there live.
Football fans, welcome to Week 6 of NFL Moving the Lines, downtown Melrose, Massachusetts, 02176, the zip code of champions. Here are your hosts, Lou Saban and John Morgan.
Good afternoon, dirtbags. Moving the line. Both two fresh guys again, right?
Yeah,
You
we're fresh. I'm not hungover this week.
And producer Dan,
I'm feeling good.
Downtown Melrose, is that like a joke, or is this? Do you consider this to be downtown Melrose?
Well, this is downtown Melrose, but it is a joke.
Okay.
You can take that however you like.
This modern
It's kind of an
metropolis.
oxymoron.
Dan's love for Melrose is
Yeah,
coming through.
yeah. All right, well, as always, we're going to talk a little bit of news. We're going to talk some Patriots, some fantasy, and some gambling. But, John, we got to go off subject today, right?
Yeah, we got to talk some baseball this week. Now that the Red Sox are out of it, and a lot of questions, a lot of people are angry about it. Why are they out so early?
Yep.
What do you think?
Well, John and I are big baseball fans. We
Huge.
love baseball. It's always been my favorite sport. And I think we got to start with just the saddest. David Ortiz, he's gone.
No more
That's it.
David Ortiz. It's all over. Time to move to a new era of Red Sox baseball.
And I've said it before, he is the most exciting athlete of my lifetime.
Yeah, I wish there was a statistic, a useful statistic to measure clutch performances. Because, do you think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer?
How could you not be?
So,
How could you not? With what he's meant for baseball, I get it, he's a DH. But guess what? DH is a position in baseball. And he provided so many memorable things. I was at that ALCS Game 4 against the Yankees. It was the most miserable game I've ever been to. I hated every second of it until he hit that walk-off home run.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
My personal opinion is that David Ortiz is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Clutch hits, his statistics, World Series rings. Do I think he's going to get in? No, not on the
Really?
first ballot. No.
So
I don't think he's going to get in the first ballot. I think he's eventually going to get in, but not on the first ballot. I think with him being a DH and the steroids kind of scandal against him, even though he was never tested positive, I think it's going to hurt his chances.
Yeah. Well, I think Bill Simmons makes a pretty good argument. The Baseball Hall of Fame is a museum, man. And how the fuck are you going to have a baseball museum with nothing about David Ortiz in there?
No,
Come on.
I agree. I mean, but you know how it is with these reporters and everything and people that vote. I don't think they're going to put him in the first ballot. I think they're going to leave him off for those two reasons.
Yeah.
Steroids and DH.
Well, he's the best. We love him forever, right? He's in the Hall of Fame of our hearts, but the team just didn't show up.
No.
No one in the team showed up.
My hatred towards John Farrell as a game manager. Yep, here it comes. Here it comes. Dan's against me here. I think Lewis probably against me here.
I agree, Dan.
He is not a good in-game manager.
Why is he not a good in-game
See, this is
manager?
the thing. No one can make the argument to me.
He took a young, overachieving team to
Okay.
93 wins in the toughest division in baseball. What more did you want from the guy?
He's
and
not.
who is that much better than him?
Joe Madden's better.
All right, there's one
All
guy.
right,
I
one,
think Francona's better.
two.
Okay, so they're better.
Do you
There's
think
plenty of guys better.
Are they coming down?
It's not
Yankee
just.
way?
It's not just
Are they
about.
coming down
Is this
Yankee
Rick
way?
Pitino
It's
here?
not just
Larry
about-
Bird's not walking through that door?
So our general manager doesn't even think. Our president, doesn't even think he's a good in-game manager.
Well, they re-signed him, obviously.
Did you hear what he said?
Well, they didn't resign him.
Did you hear what he said?
He invited him to come back.
They
and
asked
fulfill
him.
his contract.
They
I'll
asked
take a
him.
step back
They
here.
asked him what he thought about Farrell and bringing him back. He says, "Well, if he thought he was a good in-game manager, he would say, no, he's a good in-game manager." What he decided to say was, "I value other things other than managing a baseball game." That's what he values. He values other things more, which means he doesn't think he's a good in-game manager.
That's not exactly what he meant.
Yes, it is.
Because here's the thing.
He puts more value in managing players, managing clubhouse, which is fine because I put
things that all the fans don't see day to day that he sees not only at home but when he travels with the team.
Which are those
There
other
are-
things he's talking about?
There are many pundits that call into sports radio shows and such that feel they could be just as good, if not better, than John Farrell.
Did you
I think
watch
there's
the
a
World-
point
All right,
that
guys,
he's
I'm
trying
calling
to
in.
make.
Before we turn into Felger and Maz, I'm putting the kibosh
Did
on
you
this John
watch?
Farrell
Did you
stuff.
watch? What I
John.
want you both to do,
John, kibosh.
for next week. One more point. What I want you both to do before next week, if you actually care to, you like
This
him.
is what I think it is. It's going to be outrageous.
I want you to watch the World Series again. I
Now-
want you to watch the World Series again.
When
And
I
you
bartended-
tell me,
won.
and you tell me that they did
mean-
not win in spite of him.
when I
They won.
They did win.
When John and I bartended together, I would say that I thought that he did a great job in the playoffs, and John would often tell me,
Horrible.
"Watch the playoffs again."
Watch it
I said,
again.
What the fuck? Watch the
It,
playoffs.
it makes
again.
me think that
What
you
does
guys
that
are
mean?
like box score Red Sox fans
No, I
and don't
watched
watch
all
the
of
game.
it.
That's what it makes me think.
You
putting
know
in
better
Johnny
than that.
Gomes to crush that home run. That was nasty.
What,
Anyways,
what
all
about
right,
what about the
kibosh.
last game? Benintendi being pinch hit for?
That I didn't agree with. Benintendi's a star. Should have kept Benintendi.
I mean,
in there,
why would you do
especially
that?
for the corpse of Chris Young, who hadn't made contact in a week. But anyways, kibosh on John Farrell. We're not going to be that John Farrell podcast.
Move on to football.
No, just give me one more thing here. David Price. All right, John. I got a very important
We've
question
talked
for you,
about
John.
this.
Very important question for John. Who is more of a front runner, David Price or Cam Newton?
Well,
Face is just angry.
David Price's history in the playoffs is horrible. It's
Horrible. Horrible.
I'll sound like Donald
Could have
Trump.
had
It's a
John
disaster.
Could have had John Lester.
I'm
going to
pull a Donald Trump and say it's a disaster. Disaster.
Yeah. Anyways, we're very sad times. We no more Red Sox. We're very sad about it.
Well, the thing about David Price is I think Peter Abraham in the Globe made a pretty good statement, and that he could go 35-0 with a 1.50 ERA next year, and people would still find something to complain about.
Well, what are we going to talk about now? I mean, are we going to have another year like Porcello? I mean, one, Price had a much better season than Porcello did last year. And
Porcello
what-
played way over his
and,
head.
And then you look next year if Price has a good year. I mean, it's
If he didn't make $31 million, did he have a good year this year?
no, absolutely not.
17 wins wasn't.
Oh
enough
no,
for
I'm
you.
sorry. With him making $31, without him, yeah, it was a decent season.
Decent season. John, you remember at the beginning of the season, I said several times I felt that the ceiling for this team was a first round win. I thought that was with the talent they had on the team, that was the ceiling for them. They didn't get that high. I felt that the end of the season was pretty much kind of what I expected them to do at the beginning.
See,
of the
I
season.
felt differently about it. I thought that there wasn't a team in the American League that they were going to be the ones to shut us down. I thought it was more about us as a Red Sox team. I thought going into the playoffs, we went in on a cold streak. We've been a streaky team all year long, drastically streaky. And
Peaked
we
early.
went,
Peaked
and we
too
went
early,
into
buddy.
the playoffs on a cold streak. So
Yeah.
I think it was more about us stopping ourselves than anything. I mean, we've been a streaky team, and that's what happened.
I think we can all agree the team was garbage. We didn't show up at all. We sucked, and now we can move on to football.
Yeah,
Football
let's
guys.
move on to
Greg
football.
Hardy, go, John. Greg Hardy.
UFC, Greg Hardy. Lou loves the UFC.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
And we both love Greg Hardy's stupidity. So
Yeah.
now he's combining two of Lou's favorite things right here.
My favorite part about the story was when he said that he is choosing to step away from the NFL.
Yeah.
I'm going to say the NFL chose to step away from you, Greg Hardy.
Yeah, no. If Dana White puts him in there, now it's all about the money. And if he thinks he can make money off of it, I'm sure he'll do it. But
He will. I don't think the UFC will take him personally.
I hope not.
He will easily get into Bellator, though. Bellator, the number 2 organization, they
That
are
would make much more
sideshow
sense.
city. They will still throw Ken Shamrock. They threw Kimbo Slice out there until he died,
Yeah,
pretty
that-
much. They will throw anyone with any sort of name value out there. If he's going to sign with somebody, I could see him signing with Bellator. Granted, he was a really good player when he played. He was a freak athlete,
Yeah.
but he's an absolute cancer and definite dirtbag.
he's a train wreck. He makes way more mistakes off the field to last in anything that he's going to do.
Yeah, cool face paint, though. I kind of like the face paint. Anyway, Panthers and Bucks. John hated the game.
Horrible game. Horrible football game. Bad quarterbacking. Bad coaching. Bad officiating. Cam Newton. He didn't play. Derek Anderson played.
Anderson, yeah.
And the pass that he threw, his last interception in the end zone, I have no idea why they threw that pass. First of all, they were, I believe, inside the 5, run the ball, take the lead. He throws into double coverage for an interception. Jameis Winston, after the game,
Not John's favorite player.
no. They asked him, how did you feel about rushing the ball that many times? He said, well, it was important for us to win the football game. And I knew I couldn't make mistakes, and that's what happened. I didn't make mistakes, didn't turn the ball over. No, he did make mistakes. He threw the 2 passes.
Yeah.
Should have easily been picked off.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm talking about, being a box score fan. If you look at the game, look at the box score, you think he had a good game.
Yeah.
He did not have a good game. And then officiating on top of it. Did you see the last play or the last drive?
Honestly, I was too depressed about the Red Sox to watch even a second of that
The
game.
guy for Tampa was 2 yards away from being out of bounds, and they called him out of bounds. Stop the clock to give him another timeout. The whole game, another typical Monday Night Football game.
Yeah, I was just in my apartment finishing a beer, listening to Careless Whisper, and, just sad. But, fuck that game. No one cares
It's
about
so
that game.
frustrating that they keep putting these games on Monday night.
Yeah. So, John, Cowboys, what do you think of the Cowboys right now?
The question I'm going to go to you, what do you think? Do you think that this is Tony Romo's team still?
Absolutely. I think that Jerry Jones loves Tony Romo almost as much as he loves the Cowboys.
Loves him. He loves Tony. But
And he's said over and over.
he hasn't wavered.
Yeah.
He hasn't wavered at all. But, I mean, he's not ready to come back yet. So we'll see what happens when he does, if he's going to start wavering then. But I think he likes winning more.
He certainly likes
loves
winning, that's for sure. And he's had a lot of problems winning in the playoffs since, 95?
How long of a leash do you give him if he does come back and you start Tony Romo?
How long of a leash do I give who?
Tony Romo. If he comes back and starts, I mean, how long can you keep him in there if he stumbles?
I mean, what do you mean by stumble? Like throw 3 picks?
No,
Throw 1 pick?
losing. Yeah, I don't think it comes to interception, losing football games.
I don't know. It's tough to say. I think that if he comes out and goes 0-3 or 0-4, he's going to change it up.
He's got to be.
Definitely going to change it up.
I don't see how you can take him out. Dak Prescott out right now. I mean,
Although
the team is doing great.
I said at the beginning of the season, I felt like Dak Prescott was going to be good for the first 6, 7, maybe 8 weeks until the league figures him out. He hasn't been statistically on fire, but the team
He just hasn't made mistakes.
Yeah, the
I mean,
team's winning. He
Look
hasn't
at the
made mistakes.
offensive line.
I think that Dak Prescott could very well start getting murdered 2 weeks from now.
Okay.
I see. From the very beginning, I was like, he's got 7, 8 good weeks in him, and then the league's going to figure him out. But you know who didn't have a good week in him last week? Me, and shitting on Morris Claiborne.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, I ate it on that one. He ripped his jersey off and had an "I Hate Lou Saban" T-shirt under this while he's just blanketing AJ Green.
Not that it matters too much because, like you said, we're not going to be talking about this game to our grandchildren.
Yeah.
But I had to throw it out there.
Yeah.
Morris Claiborne did it again. He had another good game. More importantly, though, I got to talk about the Colts.
Okay.
Andrew Luck and Ryan Grigson. Now, obviously, the Colts have had their problems this
Yep.
year. The blame game for this organization is amazing. Ryan Grigson's the GM, okay? And he blamed Andrew Luck's contract on why they're bad.
Well,
He is the one that signed him.
who did this? Oh, who did this? To
He's
me?
the one that
Oh!
signed him. So I don't know if he's trying to.
What
Obviously,
a fucking dummy.
he's trying to say, "Oh, it's not my fault. It's the contract. You're the one that did it."
Yeah, you did that. You
So-
did that.
And you don't have a defense. The contract is the reason why they don't have a defense.
Didn't they win this week though?
So yeah, they won this
Yeah,
week. They
okay.
beat the Bears.
All right.
So that doesn't count.
Bears. Ugh.
So what you want to do if you sign a guy to that big of a contract, you're going to want to draft defensive players.
Yeah.
So you can have them for a long time.
Yep.
So little stat: over the past 5 years,
Ooh.
he's drafted 38 players.
Uh-huh.
He's drafted 16 defensive players.
Okay.
And only 6 of them are still on the roster.
Wow. Sounds like our wide receiver record.
You know, I mean, this is all on Ryan Grigson.
Yeah.
If Ryan Grigson has a job next year and Chuck Pagano, I'll be shocked.
Yeah, they were talking about firing Chuck Pagano last year, but he still had too much social capital, probably, right?
Let's say cancer is saved him as well.
Yeah. So, are the Colts horrendous, John?
I'm not going to go and call them horrendous. They're
not Bears
They have
level.
an amazing quarterback,
Yeah.
and they just don't have pieces around him. If you don't have an offensive line, what are you going to do?
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
tough.
We talk about this over and over again. It's not just about one player.
Basically, Andrew Luck has had one really good season, and every other season he's just gotten beaten up and injured and hurt. We had that major injury. What did he have? Some sort of intestinal thing last year?
Yeah, I'm not sure what it was.
He had a ruptured gallbladder. I can't remember exactly what it was.
It seems like
but
he's questionable every week. He's
every
getting
week
killed.
He's new Steven Jackson.
Yeah.
Stephen Q. Jackson, as I used to call him. But anyways, who cares about that? We're talking Patriots right now. Now, I just want to say that I had a huge chance to look like a complete idiot this week because
It was
I
close.
talked so much shit about the Patriots and how I openly scoffed at that 10.5-point line. But they bailed me out. They destroyed the Browns.
They did great. How happy did Brady look? He
Oh, my
looked
God.
like a little kid on Christmas.
From the second he stepped on that field, it looked like he hadn't stepped off of it.
I've never seen him that happy in a regular season football game before.
And I for whatever reason, I'm hot at the gambling right now. I put everything in my gambling account on this game. I was so sure about it, and they pulled through. The Browns were not in that game.
They looked great. It didn't take him too long to get used to Martellus Bennett. That's for sure.
Yeah, 3 touchdowns. John called for it. Massacre.
What in that game though? What is the thing that you see going forward? What I'm asking you is, do you think that game was 100% for real? Like, do you think the Patriots are going to continue with this offensive trend, or do you think that's Brady's first game back?
Well, so I think now that Brady is back, it's going to go back to being, and this is a question that I had for you, it's going to go back to being a really great offense, but who knows with who.
Right.
You know, it's you're listening to like fantasy podcasts and stuff, and they're all talking up Chris Hogan. Chris Hogan is the #1 pickup this week. He could have no catches the next 3 weeks, and I would not be surprised.
No, that's how the Patriots do it.
You know, but I do think the one thing that you're going to be able to rely on, and this is tough to say you can rely on it, our tight end game is going to be hot.
Oh, yeah.
For the rest of the year. Martellus Bennett looks amazing, and Gronk looked really good, and he said he felt like he was 100%.
What about that first catch when he ran down the field down to like the 2-yard line?
So
that was pretty typical Gronk right there.
He alternated like shaking people out of their shoes and just running people over. It was amazing to watch.
That was the best thing to watch. I was at a bar, I was at work, and everybody just went crazy. That was Gronk's first big play of the season.
I don't know if I was happier seeing that or seeing the one and only clipboard Jesus, Charlie Whitehurst, in the game. We murdered all of our. We murdered their whole.
Thank you. I'm raising my hands right now.
Yeah, right? Seeing Charlie Whitehurst out there, I was like, oh, this game's done. There's no way they're going back with that. My buddy Ben is a really big Browns fan, and he was saying that there was an alarming amount of Brady fans at the game.
That can't surprise you.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't surprise me, but I said to him, and this is obviously just me talking, it might not apply to everybody, like, we are huge Patriots fans here in Boston, but we are maniacal Brady fans.
Oh, yeah.
We're, like, out of our fucking minds about Tom Brady. And he just said it was awful, and he finished the game, I believe. He showed me a picture of him drinking under a bridge, so he didn't take that loss very well. Anyways, but so, John, question for you, football expert. I'm thinking it's time to take Blunt out of my lineup for fantasy now. What do you think?
Yeah, I would take him. We talked about this the last 2 weeks. He was useful for the first 4 weeks of the season, but now, I mean, I would take him out. Oh, well, let me ask you one thing first. Who do you have for running backs?
Well, I got 2 teams. My running backs, in the league that you and I are in, I've got Ezekiel Elliott, who's great.
Yep.
A little tough after that.
I can't see Blunt being useful for the rest of the season. I mean, he's going to have his games where he does good, has a couple touchdowns here and there, but he's not going to do anything like he did the first 4 weeks. They're not going to give him the ball that much.
Yeah. My second running back, I drafted Thomas Rawls, who's, I don't know, is he even in the league? Who knows? I got Matt Jones, TJ Yeldon, who's awful, Kenneth Dixon, DeAndre Washington. I got Bilal Powell just because I predicted Matt Forte to die very soon.
I would start Matt Jones this week.
And Matt Jones against Philly?
Yep.
They got a really good run defense.
I would start Matt Jones this week.
All right. Over LeGarrette Blount, I'll take it in consideration. My other league, I know no one cares about this. I'll guarantee you that. But in my other league, my running back situation is much better. But they're guys, like I got Mark Ingram, and we're going to talk about this in fantasy. You know what? Let's save this for fantasy, John. We talk Patriots. We talk a little bit of news. We're going to do fantasy in the next segment. You ready for that, buddy?
When we come back.
All right.
Up next, it's all the fantasy news that's fair to air. NFL moving the line. Week 6 continues. Stand by.
You already know Kowloon Restaurant, established in 1950 and spanning 4 generations, serves a multi-Asian menu. Did you also know that Kowloon Restaurant is New England's premier Asian dining and entertainment complex, serving Cantonese, Szechuan, Thai, and Polynesian cuisine? And did you know that Kowloon Restaurant is also the home of the finest Japanese sushi? If you haven't dined at Kowloon Restaurant lately, then you simply haven't dined at Kowloon. Kowloon Restaurant, Route 1 North in Saugus.
Mass Concerts presents Rocket Shop, October 14th through 16th at the DCU Center and Palladium in Worcester. Featuring Trivia, Max and Eagle Cavalera, The Rocking Dead, Twisted, and more live on stage. Meet Malcolm McDowell, Screams Matthew Lillard, and Skeet Ulrich, Danielle Harris, and stars from American Horror Story, Rob Zombie's 31, Sleepy Hollow, and many more. Enjoy panels, movies, shopping, tattooing, creating, and much more.
Rocket Shop.
October 14th through 16th at the DCU Center and Palladium in Worcester. Tickets available at the Palladium and DCU Center box office, FYE stores, and ticketfly.com.
Info at rock'n'shock.com.
Welcome back to NFL. Moving the line, Week 6. Here are your hosts, Lou Saban and John Morgan.
Lou Saban, John Morgan, ready to talk a little bit of fantasy. We talked a little bit about it before, but we're ready to go whole hog here. John, would you like to announce that I lost, or would you want me to do it?
Me and Lou went heads up this week
Heads
in
up,
fantasy.
yeah.
3-2, my record in the season. Lou
Yeah.
falls to what, 2-3? Buddy?
2-3, yeah.
2-3. I gave him a beating.
He did.
How many points did I win by? Take a look.
You had like 125 points, I remember. I think I had 112.
I think Lou actually might have been the second highest scorer, though, in our league.
Yeah, but my team did good, but John's just did better. His fake team is better than my fake team right now.
Yeah,
so.
we were pretty close going into our last two players. Who were our last two players? Aaron Rodgers and Greg Olson.
And Greg Olson murdered me.
Killed him.
Mike, we had like 170 yards or something.
Yeah, I thought he had like 181 maybe.
Oh my God, just murdered me. I had Aaron Rodgers to try to bail me out. He was fine.
He wasn't fine.
Wasn't 15 points? Is
He
pretty
had
good.
15 points.
Second
round pick.
He was no Greg Olson.
No. But you know what? Watching that football game, he should have had way more points. He had so much time in the pocket.
Yeah. I don't know. Whatever. It is what it is.
He just wants to get
lost.
out. Whatever.
Yeah, I lost.
I
What
want
can
to move.
say?
I want to move on.
My team sucked. I can continue to talk about how my team sucked. I got murdered by Greg Olson. But congratulations to you, John. You were victorious.
The team's on the climb, I think.
Mine did good, but so I don't feel that bad. My team did good. I won in my other league, so I'm basically still 500, still completely mediocre. But yeah, that's it for that. We got Marcus Mariota scoring the number 1 points.
That was a shocker.
Fresh off the stink of Ryan Fitzpatrick challenge.
Yeah.
John almost selected him.
I did.
And he
It's
wanted
good-
you.
good switch
he wanted
there.
to tell you to fuck off.
Yeah,
John.
he would have told me to fuck off too if I went with him.
Yeah. But wow, he scored a ton
Instead,
of points.
Kessler. Had
Yeah.
to go with Kessler.
Yeah. He ran the ball a lot, scored running touchdown there.
That game scared me because I had the under on that game, and that game was close. The first half of that football game, a lot of points scored, and then second half, just nothing. They only put up 14 more points in the second half, I think.
Yeah.
So I lucked out on that one.
Yeah. But so for fantasy, one of the important things we want to say here, we got a big alert this week, and that is that the Saints are playing at home. And over under 94 in this game, you think?
Oh, well, Cam Newton, we don't know if he's going to play yet.
Yeah.
So
I think he's going to play.
He's practicing right now, and all signs look like he's going to play, but he hasn't. I don't believe he's passed his concussion protocol yet.
But in my other league, I've got who is it? What's the guy's name? Your receiver for the Panthers? Benjamin.
My receiver,
Kelvin Benjamin.
Kelvin Benjamin? Yeah.
You got Kelvin Benjamin. I've got him in my other league.
I don't have Kelvin Benjamin.
What's that?
I don't have Kelvin Benjamin.
Oh, you don't? I
No,
thought you did.
I have Greg Olson. I
Okay.
have their tight end. I don't know who's got Kelvin Benjamin. He's had some rough weeks this year. He got
He has.
goose-egged one week.
Yep,
But
he's
this week.
He's boomer bust. But
Yeah.
I think this week definitely start him. You're starting Greg Olson. Obviously,
yeah,
Greg Olson's
absolutely.
great. I think that Cam Newton will play. I'm going to put Willie Snead in there. If you got guys like this who have been bageled a little bit in the last couple weeks, don't worry. Your savior, and that's the Saints are playing at home, so put him in there.
If you had to guess the over and under on this game, not what you think it's going to be, what you think Vegas has the over and under at, what do you think? What do you think they put
Do you
it
know
at?
what it is?
I don't.
Okay. If I had to guess the over-under, I would say that this game would be, God, it's got to be in the 60s.
No.
Yeah, I would
They
say.
never put an NFL game in the 60s.
Really?
No, never.
Even though it goes over 60 every
Oh,
game?
yeah. They never do it, though. They never have over-unders in the 60s.
Okay.
The most you usually get to is in the 50s, and that's like 56 is when you have two, when you're pretty much at New Orleans,
Yeah.
and you have another really high-powered offensive team.
So
I would say it's definitely in the 50s somewhere,
Okay.
but maybe like 53, 54.
So if the over is 54, you take it. Do you take it?
It's so hard not to.
Yeah.
The whole season, I have taken the over when it's been the Raiders, when it's been New Orleans, Chargers. I've taken the over in those combinations of teams. But this week, with Cam Newton and more so their defense in that team, I stay away from it.
Stay away?
Yeah, I just don't touch it.
All right. Well, I'm still recommending that you play all your Panthers and you play all your Saints for fantasy.
Oh, I definitely like taking the Panthers.
Yeah.
Panthers offense there, but I'm nervous about the defense.
So I had a rough week this week. Not a lot of things went right for me. I lost to John. So we're moving on to my personal favorite segment of our show here, and that's a little segment called "Fuck Right Off." Because every week you have that guy in fantasy who just screwed you.
Just fucks you.
Just screwed you. Either on your team or on the other guy's team. Like you get some no-name guy scores 50 points, or your best player scores 1 point, or something like that. So I got a lot of choices this week. Although my team did pretty good, I could say fuck off to Greg Olson. Could say that he was really good, played way above his head. He was great. I could say fuck off.
You gonna say fuck off to one of my players?
Yeah, I could.
All right,
You
sure,
can do that.
yeah. If you want to
do that,
you want to go down that road, I ain't no fun with this one.
I could say fuck off to Vikings D. They were really good. They scored 17 points or something. But I'm not going to do that, John. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say fuck off today to a 6'7" rookie out of Oregon State. He caught his very first pass this week, and it was for a touchdown. This asshole's name is Connor Hamlet. He caught a touchdown from Charlie Whitehurst, I think it was, in the third quarter.
Yeah.
And I'm looking on that screen, and I see a white tight end catching a touchdown. And I am so excited because I have Gary Barnage in both my leagues, and he's been garbage for both teams. He caught 1,100 yards last year, and he's been awful this year. Hasn't done anything. He's been terrible. And I see a white tight end catching a touchdown. I'm like, finally.
You got your hopes up.
Finally, my investment has been paid off. But it's this filthy, dirty Connor Hamlet, first catch of his career for a touchdown, and it screws me. So you know what, Connor Hamlet? You can fuck right off.
See, I get a tough one here. I don't know. I get a couple of guys that I'm going to tell to fuck off. My team was really good, though. I had to win. Almost everybody put up points. The only guys that didn't, Julian Edelman, but he didn't. Patriots didn't need him.
Didn't need him.
Josh Lambo, my kicker. I didn't need the points. I get two people to tell to fuck off. I'm going to tell Josh Lambo to fuck off because he's a fucking kicker, and I'm just going to tell him to fuck off.
Yeah.
The other person
What's he gonna do about it?
is you.
What?
I'm going to tell you to fuck off.
Why?
Because you didn't have the balls to tell your quarterback to fuck off, Aaron Rodgers, your second-round pick, who couldn't put up enough points to get it done.
I mean, 50. There's what you would have to put up like 35.
I'm going
points
to throw something out.
You would have to
right
put like
now.
100 points up there. He scored 15. That's not awful.
You had this is going to go back to me and Lou's debate that we're going to have all year long throughout the season.
All year.
He picked a quarterback in the second round.
I did.
Got him 15 points this week.
Yep.
I picked my quarterback in the 7th or 8th round. He gave me 18, which is good. But what I tend to do, having Andrew Luck as a quarterback, I always have to look for a backup because he's always questionable. And Andy Dalton, the guy who I picked up at 21. So this goes back to my point where you can pick up a guy and he can almost do as good as your starting quarterback.
People fail to understand my argument with this every single time. I understand the system, and I understand you can get a good quarterback in round 6. I just don't understand why the system is that way. I know you can get a good guy. Guess what? You will have to get a good guy for your running back that you drafted in the first round. You probably won't have to get a backup guy for your quarterback if you drafted him in the first round.
But you're not going to You're not going to match the production. You can't match the production.
Running back.
That's what I'm saying. The running back is you have to assume that you can't assume that everyone's going to be hurt. That you can't go by that.
Okay.
But
I can't assume that there's a much greater chance that my quarterback will. Are we going to do this again?
We do it every week.
All right. Go ahead. I'll let you have the last word, John.
We'll let you have the last word. How about this? We'll do it every week until you concede. How about that? And we'll end it there.
You almost conceded last year.
We'll end it on that note.
This isn't over. Anyways, can I just say that Connor Hamlet wasn't even on their depth chart? I looked at their depth chart. And Connor Hamlet not even on it. So anyways, also John Morgan, fuck off. Fuck you. Anyways, we're going to move on to a fun game that we play here. John and I, we like yelling at each other. We like yelling at inanimate objects, animate objects, everything. And we like watching failure, right, John?
Love seeing the poor play of quarterbacks.
Yeah, so we don't like picking good quarterbacks. Marcus Mariota, 30 points. Who cares? We want to see them fail. We want to see who's the worst quarterback. So every week we pick who we think the worst quarterback is going to be, and we call it the Ryan Fitzpatrick
Challenge. New name for it.
Yeah. So, Johnny, who are you going with this week?
I'm going to go 2 weeks in a row. I'm going to go with Cody Kessler.
Yep.
They're going to go against the Titans, and hopefully the Titans D can hold up. He's coming off an injury that our lovely Patriots gave him.
Yeah. I'm going to say you're going to have to pick a backup in case he doesn't play.
I'm going to keep it with the Browns, and I'm going to go with McCown if McCown's the
What
guy.
if McCown doesn't play?
Well, he might play. What if your guy falls down the steps and he doesn't play? You know.
That's a good point. But there's a good chance that Kessler doesn't play.
So right now, last word, Kessler is anticipating playing the game, so I'm going to stick.
Do you
with
want to
him.
just go Browns QB?
Yeah.
If
Fair enough.
So you might end up with Charlie Whitehurst, and that's a blessing.
Fair enough.
Browns QB. Whoever the
I'm
Browns throw.
pretty much my quarterback is against the Titans right now. That's what I'm going
Whoever the
with.
Browns throw out there, whoever their starting quarterback is for the Browns,
I'm hoping Kessler does play though.
because our shoulder's broken or
Yeah,
whatever.
pretty much.
Well, anyway, so he's going to go Cody Kessler, solid pick. I'm going to go with the one and only namesake of this game, Ryan Fitzpatrick. The cards maybe aren't exactly what we thought they were. Well, it sounded like, who's that? Who's that? Dennis Green?
Yeah, Dennis Green.
Dennis Green.
They're not who we thought we were. No, they are who they, whatever it was.
So I'm going Ryan Fitzpatrick's on the road in Arizona. Ryan Fitzpatrick looks horrendous, and I think he's going to fill up that stat sheet.
Ian Decker's out.
Yeah, Decker's out for the season.
Yeah, Decker's gone.
It's like a broken leg or something.
Which
Yeah.
is going to make Brandon Marshall's life tougher. It's going to make Fitzpatrick's life tougher. So I think it's a good pick.
Did you hear Martellus Bennett this week?
No.
Oh my God! They interviewed him for like E60 on ESPN.
Oh, yeah.
Where he said everybody in the Bears.
Yeah, I
bunch of
did.
bitches.
So that was an article that
Oh
they
my
had.
God.
That was an article that they had in the magazine, and now they did the E60 on it.
And you know he's taking aim at Cutler and Brandon
Oh,
Marshall.
he did
with that,
directly.
right? Yeah,
He did with
There's
Cutler
a bunch
directly.
of bitches on this team, and you can't win with bitches.
Did you watch the full E60 yet?
I did. I
Yeah,
did.
I gotta watch it. I got it on
was great.
DVR. I haven't seen it yet.
It was great. But you could tell it was all Bear stuff. There's no way Belichick would allow him to do
No,
that shit.
they asked
No way.
Belichick about it.
Yeah.
They asked Belichick about it. And
Did he
said-
answer?
He said, well, I don't know anything about that. I'm preparing my team for Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Pretty much what you'd expect.
Belichick stamp. That's his answer.
Yeah.
All right, John. That's fantasy. You got anything else for fantasy?
I do. I get a question to throw at you. So I get a
All right.
tough week in fantasy,
Okay.
and a lot of my players are going against good defenses.
Yep.
I'm thinking of taking out Andrew Luck.
Okay.
I'm going to go, if he plays, with Trevor Siemian. I know.
Simeon, huh?
I know.
Oh my
I have
God.
another one, too.
I mean, look at your. So you got Andrew Luck. He's got Houston.
Yep.
Do you think Houston? Well, Houston has let up.
I mean, J.J. Watt's out,
Yeah.
and
Houston has let up 11 points, 3 points, 14 points, 8 points, and 18 points to
Yeah.
quarterbacks. I mean, 18 is not so bad.
divisional game. You know, it's something I'm thinking about. Not sure if I'm going to do it yet.
So let's just say, would you accept 18 points from Andrew Luck?
Yeah, I would.
Okay,
I'd take
you would
18
take that.
points.
And I think that Sam Bradford, Andrew Luck, you know,
Sam
that could
Bradford?
happen. Oh, hold on. Yeah, Sam Bradford, because they played Minnesota last week.
Oh, yeah. No.
Houston played Minnesota last week.
Yeah.
All
I didn't know you're comparing the two. I was talking about Trevor Siemian. I thought you were
Trevor
comparing those two.
Siemian, you know, it looks like.
It looks like he's going to play.
Yeah. Oh, he's Thursday night. He's tonight.
Yeah, he's tonight.
I mean tomorrow.
Chargers.
What I mean tomorrow. So he's got charge. So Chargers have let up 27, 18, 13, 12, and 21 points.
Yeah.
And they are okay. So it's at home.
That's
so their
my-
defense is playing better at home. They've let up
Oh, yeah.
18 and 20, 18 and 12 at home. Their big yardage things have been to strange enough KC and to Oakland to Carr. So I don't hate it, but I think that there's a definite chance that you could feel like a real idiot on that one.
It could definitely backfire.
I tend to not bench my studs.
I get another one here. Last one
Okay.
is a guy who I've waited to have a good game from, not just this year, last year. He hasn't seemed to do it. Dorial Green Beckham. This guy he's got all the physical traits to
Right.
be a beast,
Right.
and he just hasn't done it yet. But I do think this week is the week where he puts up points.
I have owned Dorial Green Beckham on like 3 separate occasions. I will pick him up, drop him, and he's like, holy shit. And he gets these raving reviews from practice. All right.
Oh, yeah.
But we can't ignore the fact that he's never done anything.
He's never done anything
never
in a
done
game.
Anything. He scored 4 points last week at Detroit. Are you considering playing him?
He
Is
was
that what you're saying?
he was my last round pick
Yeah.
in the draft. Actually, you know what? I didn't even pick him because I knew he wasn't going to get drafted. I picked him up as a free agent.
He's a
later on.
flyer.
He is somebody who I think this week is going to have a big week. They're going against a banged up Washington secondary, and I'm going to go out on a limb. It's a limb and say
Yeah.
he's going to have a big week this
That's a
week.
very long limb. You're like way out on it. It's
Yeah,
creaking.
it is.
You might fall off the tree with it.
I might, but I'm going
to
to go with him. I'm going to take a shot with him.
Well, he's not in your lineup right now, though.
He's not in it.
Okay,
So,
but you're going to put him in there? Who are you going to take out?
Benjamin, I think.
Travis
and the only
Benjamin,
reason
okay.
why it's not Tevin Coleman is because they're playing Seattle, and Seattle's D. And they had a really good game against Denver. I don't know if they can do it again, another road game like that. It's going to be a really tough test for them. And I like the Falcons.
Denver,
it's
number
going
one
to be
pass
a
defense.
really, really tough test.
Denver's great.
Yep.
They're great against the pass. They let up 4 points to receivers. And whose receivers were those? Julio Jones. Those the guys.
Yeah.
Julio Jones just caught for 300
Yeah, I
yards.
don't think I can. That's why I got to take them out.
Anyways, nobody cares about our fantasy teams, but we're here to just yammer on for a bit. But that's fantasy, right, John?
That's it. And we're going to come back with gambling.
Gambling.
Sin City, eat your heart out. When he lived in Las Vegas, Nevada, he kissed and grabbed more pussies than Donald Trump
God.
and Bill Clinton combined. John Morgan moves the line up next.
You already know Kowloon Restaurant, established in 1950 and spanning 4 generations, serves a multi-Asian menu. Did you also know that Kowloon Restaurant is New England's premier Asian dining and entertainment complex, serving Cantonese, Szechuan, Thai, and Polynesian cuisine? And did you know that Kowloon Restaurant is also the home of the finest Japanese sushi? If you haven't dined at Kowloon Restaurant lately, then you simply haven't dined at Kowloon. Kowloon Restaurant, Route 1 North in Saugus.
Football fans, welcome back to Week 6 of NFL Moving the Line. It's gambling time with your hosts, Lou Saban and John Morgan.
Gambling time, bitches. It's ready to win some money. John, you ready to win some money?
I want to talk about Dan first.
Okay. Well, maybe we should have like the Guinness Book of World Records follow John around at Vegas because apparently he's setting records.
Yeah, for some reason I think the myth is definitely more than the reality here. Obviously, for some reason.
Did your publicist tell you to say that?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm still. Dan makes me very flustered after he talks about these things. He. I don't know where he gets his information from.
John, you're a legend. Yeah, Greg Hardy.
Yeah, Greg Hardy.
Greg
yeah.
Hardy.
Greg
John,
Hardy.
you're a legend.
Yeah.
You and Greg Hardy are the new dynamic
Yeah,
duo.
that's it.
And we should just
He was
have a reality
he was
show.
my wingman.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah, that and cocaine.
Yeah.
The weekend wingman. So,
Yep.
anyways,
his
I'm gonna-
wallet. Yep. Moving on.
Anyways, gambling. John, I've been hot in gambling lately. I think it's the opposite. I remember. So John and I bet against each other every year.
Yeah, we do. Well, we used to do a little $5 thing on. We used to work together.
Yeah. But last year I was the opposite of hot.
Yeah.
It was so cold. So we did it 4 years, I think, and I think we went 2-2 against each other.
2-2.
So basically, we always end up pretty even against each other. But so John has kind of been my bookie for a while, but we play a game on Moving the Line called Moving the Line. And John's an experienced gambler. He's done it for many years. And sometimes when he's having trouble with the lines, instead of looking at the lines, you try to think of what the lines may be.
Yeah,
Guess the lines.
just pick them. I just pick the lines and Dan just thought that was funny. Just pick them. You just make your own line. You make your own line and see what you come up with.
John, how many lines did you make in Vegas, would you say?
With or without Greg Hardy's wallet.
Anyway, so John, he makes them himself so he can kind of get his own kind of purview of what they are instead of looking at Vegas's. Then he can kind of see where he is already. So he's making the lines for me. That's right. He makes the lines for me. I get to choose. And after that, we talk about what the actual Vegas lines were.
Yeah, you ready for the go, Lou? You
So,
got your stuff?
I get
So we
three choices, and I get to pick one.
So we get the Raiders playing KC this week. It's in Oakland, and we're going to have KC at 3-point favorites this week.
Raiders playing KC in Oakland. KC is a road favorite, 3
Yep.
points. We agree that KC is good, right?
I think so. I think KC's good.
KC's good, and I think that the Raiders. I'm not ready to say that the Raiders are good yet. They've got a good offense.
Well, if you want to use the word good, I mean, yeah, I think they're good.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't. know.
We disagree on this, but I mean, I think the difference is the strength of the Raiders' opponents.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they've played too many quality teams, and
they've let up 137 points.
Yeah.
They're somehow 4-1, and they're. I know you hate the stat, but they're only +5 in point.
But I
point
think
differential.
But I think they're good. You know, because
Good, yeah.
good isn't great. Good's good. you
Great.
know?
I'm going to stay away from that one. What else you got, John?
We got the Cardinals at 5-point favorites over the Jets in Arizona.
Okay, in Arizona, Jets are going down the toilet right now.
Yep.
As you mentioned earlier, Eric Decker is
Decker.
out. Fitzpatrick looks horrible.
We named a game after him,
Yeah, we named a good game. We named a futility-related game after him,
so they're hurting right now.
and they're sticking with Fitzpatrick. You have to think about if they had anybody other than Geno Smith back there, they would have had to throw him in there by now, right?
I don't know if you have to do it yet. I mean, it's a little early.
Okay. Well, Fitzpatrick looks awful. He's not as bad as he's been playing. He's not this bad.
No.
He's a serviceable quarterback.
He's been this way his whole career. He has streaks of brilliance and then horrible games.
Yeah, the Jets look horrendous. They are minus 44 in point differential right now. They look awful right now. And I like the Cards to, they're 2-3, so they're not setting the world on fire by any means, but they played some tough teams. They're 2-3. I like that one, but what's the third game?
And we have the Bills at 4.5-point favorites over the 49ers in Buffalo.
Bills 4.5 points over the 49ers. So we have Kaepernick this week, right?
Yeah, Kaepernick's playing.
Oh my God. That's a wild card. I don't think Kaepernick's very good, but it's a wild card. That sounds like a stay away to me. I think I want the Cards, buddy.
Take the Cards?
Yeah, I think I want the Cards at home.
I think it's a good pick with their line actually being 7 points.
I feel like their home field advantage. I mean, Arizona's not exactly a crazy sports fan. They're 1-2 at home, but I don't know. I feel like they're going to light them up this week.
We can talk about the Jets too. Jets are about as opposite of the Raiders as you can be because the Jets have had quality opponents. They've actually played a really tough teams. They've had a tough schedule the first 6 weeks. I mean, so after 6 weeks, their schedule is supposed to get a little bit lighter. But
yeah.
I mean, I still do like this pick. Are you getting free 2 points here? The line's actually 7.
Line's actually 7.
Yep.
Okay, good. Yeah, I want that. I'm actually feeling pretty good about that, so I'm gonna bump it up to $10. I don't feel Patriots level good about it, but I'm bumping that up. So I'm up.
So you're up 15. Up 15 right now.
I'm 3-1, but I lost one $10 bet, I think,
Yep.
or something like that. But I'm bumping it up $10. This will either put me up at $25 or down at 5. Give me the Cards. I think I still feel like the Cards have a lot of talent on that team.
So the other lines in these games, we have the Raiders in Oakland playing KC. The line's actually a pick in that game.
Really?
Yeah. Line's a pick.
Vegas doesn't like KC, huh?
No,
Or
line's
I
a
guess
pick
they
in
like the
Oakland.
Raiders. I guess they believe in the records.
Yeah. And we also have the Bills, the actual line in that game. The Bills are favored by 7.5 points over the 49ers.
I guess
think
they
about
hate
that?
Kaepernick.
Yeah, that-
would it have? How different
The
would that
Bills
line
are playing good football right now.
They are.
So
they've beaten good teams too.
Yeah.
How different would that line be if Gabbert was still in there?
I don't know if it would be that much different. It's in Buffalo. I mean, I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much an effect that has on it. I don't know. To be honest with you, I really don't. I think it would be right around the same.
Tough to find two more different cities than San Francisco and Buffalo.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting game.
You ever been
I
to
think.
Buffalo, John?
I'm sure I'll never go to
Oh
Buffalo.
boy, it's a tough city.
That's up there with Jacksonville.
Come on. Jacksonville's not bad. It's just not good.
What I have to say is, why go? Why go?
It's a great point. I'm from Jacksonville. They got nice beaches.
And that's why he's here with us.
Yeah, I got the hell out of there. Anyways, I'm going Cards. How about John Morgan's picks of the week?
All right, we got
What's your record, Johnny?
We are 12, 10, and 3. I was
Okay.
2-2. This 2, 1. This
Okay,
week.
still floating above 500.
Yeah, I got to get up there though. I
Yeah.
mean, this game, the game that killed me this week was I was so wrong about the Bengals and Cowboys game. The Cowboys are surprising me week in and week out.
That game was over in the first quarter.
Yeah.
It seemed.
Every
obviously,
year.
I felt good about it because I bet on the boys there. But
Every year when it comes to gambling, I always have a certain team that seems to always just do really well for me throughout the whole year. They always win me money.
Yeah.
And then I have other teams that it seems to always kill me.
Right.
And so far this year, the Raiders are the team that's been winning me money. Anytime I bet on them, they've bet on them or against them with the spread in some way. I always end up winning.
Yeah.
And the Cowboys are the team that's hurt me so far
you
this
just
year.
don't have a handle on the
So
boys.
I got to pretty much stay away from the Cowboys so far right now.
Ezekiel Elliott coming on hot.
Yeah, he's doing great.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you change this duo of Dak Prescott and Elliott when Romo comes back?
Listen, I just got to say that I'm the smartest person in this room for selecting a running back in the first round. I'm the smartest person on the planet. So thank you,
Yeah. You wasn't a quarterback.
Johnny. Give me your picks.
All right, what we have this week. I'm going to take the Chiefs this week with a pick. Like I said, I like the Raiders. I think they're a good team. But I'm going
They're
to
due
go
for a setback. They're not 4-1 good.
I just got to take the team that the Raiders haven't had a good strength of schedule so far. They haven't played quality opponents. I think the Chiefs are going to be their toughest opponent so far. It is in Oakland, which I don't really like that aspect of it, but I'm going to go with the Chiefs this week with a pick.
That stadium, not as shitty as it looks on TV. It looks like a real piece of shit on TV.
It doesn't
but I've
look
been
nice,
there.
but I've never been there.
Been there. You can do whatever you want outside of that statement. I'll attest to that. There's not really any police or rules or anything. So that's nice. And the baseball fans are real fans. Do they have a home field advantage? They look like they do.
What, in Oakland?
Oakland? Are you afraid of that?
No.
To travel there?
No, not. I mean, it's an aggressive stadium, but
Aggressive,
I mean,
yeah.
that's not something I would call up there with Kansas City, Minnesota, Lambeau.
Did they beat a Giants fan to death like a San Francisco Giants fan?
I don't remember that.
It was in the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Dodgers.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Any of those California scumbags. I just assumed
I
it
remember
was the
seeing that on
Raiders.
YouTube, I think, yeah.
Yeah, they beat him to death. Yeah, you're right. That was in Chavez Ravine in Los Angeles. Anyway, so what's
Maserati's favorite place.
There you go.
Chavez
What's your next
Ravine.
pick, Johnny?
I'm going to take the Dolphins at +8
Fish!
over Pittsburgh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Where's the game?
Oh, it's in Miami. Yep, +8. I'm going to take the Dolphins.
Tannehill was horrible this week.
Yeah, I'm going to go with them this week.
That's a brave bet.
I don't know why it is. Yeah.
That's a brave bet.
Yep, I'm going to go with them.
I would, you could tempt me to take that if it got around 9 or 10. 8? I don't know. It's a weird
some
line.
reason why I like them this week. Don't know why. It could come back and bite me. Who
Okay.
knows? I'm going to take the Giants to beat the Ravens. Now, this is a game without the point spread. I'm going to take them straight up money line. The money line's 145
Minus
to
or plus?
win 100. Minus 145.
Okay.
To win 100. The line on the game is actually 3 points. But I'm going to take the Giants to win the game outright. Win the game outright. No spread. No nothing.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that. Ravens aren't that good.
I'm going to go with a 3-team tease because
boy.
for some reason...
Did you
it's-
win another
it's been-
3-team tease?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I don't know how these things keep going, but
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Patriots.
Okay.
The Patriots are 9.5-point favorites.
Over the Bungles.
Yep. The Broncos are 3-point favorites over the Chargers. The game's in San Diego.
How could you possibly lose on that?
Well, the
Unless Trevor Siemian
Patriots
shits
will
the
be
bed.
plus a half a point.
Okay.
The Broncos will be +7.
Yeah.
And over 38 on the Patriots game is the third piece of that.
Okay.
So the Patriots Cincinnati over 38, and that's after the tease. So they have to get over 38 in a
Okay.
3-team tease.
Yeah, I can see all those things happening. Those look
I'm
like
going
good
to
bets.
take the over on the
Okay.
Eagles game. Eagles in Washington. It's over 44 points. I'm going to take that game straight up.
Is that in Washington?
The game's in Washington, yes.
In Washington, Kirk Cousins. So he's looking at Wentz and Kirk Cousins going nuts.
Yeah, well, Washington doesn't have much of a secondary right now. They're pretty beat
They're
up.
bad.
So
yeah, they're bad.
And they're hurt. So they're bad and they're hurt.
What, did you just tell me to play Matt Jones, the immortal Matt Jones?
Yep, Matt Jones. Because I'm not a huge Matt Jones fan.
No one is.
Lou drafted Matt Jones
I
the
did.
same reason, the same round I drafted Andrew Luck.
Yeah, you made some argument that I was going to get all these points out of Matt Jones in week 1. Because like no
What?
points. Like,
No.
who'd you draft in round 7? Matt Jones, right? Oh, he gets you that. No.
No, the point was that you don't get points out of him. I
know
points-
shit. I have him
Yeah,
on my team. I
that
know I
was
don't
my
get points
point.
on him.
No, I do like him this week, though. I think Matt Jones is good for catching the ball out of the backfield and some points. I just like him more than LeGarrette Blount, put it that way.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Fair enough. Any other picks, John?
I got one more pick.
Okay.
2-team tees. Patriots.
Double T's week?
Yep. Just two-teamer. Patriots and Seattle Seahawks. I know I've been all about the Falcons. I think the Falcons are a good team, a really good team. I think they're a legit team. I have them picked to win the division. But going from Denver, beating Denver, and now going to Seattle, I don't see Atlanta winning this game. So the line in the game is 6.5 points, but so it'll basically be a pick, and Seattle just has to win the game.
John, are you sure you don't want to tell the Bungles to fuck off? Are you picking against them so much just because they burned you so badly last week?
The Bungles?
Yeah.
I think it's more my love for the Patriots this week.
All right. Because I was just giving you an opportunity to tell someone
hatred,
to fuck off.
hatred.
Yeah.
I already told you to fuck off.
All right, that's fine.
Aaron Rodgers, man, he's
All
not
right,
pulling his
John.
weight for you.
I think we can both agree that we can both fuck off. We did a terrible job today.
Yep.
But we're going to keep doing it. We're going to keep yelling at you about sports.
Farrell.
We're gonna, and if
You can tell Farrell to
all right,
fuck
dude,
off.
We're not starting this again. Our producer Dan is furious right
Yeah,
now.
he's all
But anyways,
upset.
we're going to be back here next week with news, Patriots, fantasy, gambling for you dirtbags. John, I'm just happy
Come
to be
back
here.
and listen to us next week, all you box score fans.
Fuck off, John.
Or in your case, fans of boxes. But nonetheless, fans, it's been week 6 of NFL Moving the Line. Continue to follow us on Twitter. Look us up on iTunes and YouTube. Until we speak again, you and yours, be well.